We greet you all in Yahshua's wonderful name. What a spectacular event that he ordains for himself. He said that this is my moed. These belong to me. And I want you to relieve yourself of the agony of labor. Let me just sit in the midst of you and just enjoy you because of me. What a great king. There's no one like him. We sell our nefesh for what? In some form of sensual pleasure. Now those that are listening, those that will hear this broadcast this year, next year they will not be among the living. I looked this morning. I don't read the obituaries. I simply scan the faces. And there was one that, as we grew up together, he was a kind-hearted young man. His temperament was so beautiful and so balanced. So as I look today, undoubtedly he has been deceased for many years. And there he was. We're the same age. And my heart was smitten because of anyone deserving death for any form of imperfection, it should have been me. It should have been me. For my corruptions, my sins, my vile nature that it was repugnant before Almighty Yahweh, and I had disdain for him. I despised him, like we still despise him today. I had no fervent passion for him. You will know my passion for him as you see it toward you. You can tell a lot about the nature of a human. That mind is enmity against Yah. It does not covet the things of Torah. They will despise one another for no reason. And they will have aught against one another for no reason. You're going to die that way. That's a fact. You're not going into the kingdom. That's not what I want to teach today. I want to teach and preach. We as a nation of people, there must be prophecy among his people. And there was one that was a wise imam. She called her son Lemuel. And she spoke of the wisdom of the prophecy that my son, give not your ooze, your strength, your koach, unto the Yeshua. That she does not dominate or twist your mind, whereby there is no clear conclusion in your love, what Yah says. And so we find among this fervent whore of darkness, Christianity, your Baptist movement, your Methodist, your apostolic, your apostate, you Seventh-day Adventists, you Hebrew falsified Israelites, you white ones and black ones, we find this notion of prophecy. It is amazing. Now, Yah shows us the power of prophecy. I will deal with the dimensions of prophecy and how it only comes. So you find this deranged mind today. Everybody is prophesying and speaking prophecies about the New World Order, the Club of Rome's and the Bilderbergers, because they think that they are smart. These are ignorant men. They have no knowledge of Yah. I'm going to take my time and teach. You don't want to be here, leave. You don't have to listen to me. You got time for television, television. When it comes time for Yah, we want to mandate to the messenger. Well, I may miss the television, but I don't miss the computer. We have no time for him. I want to read a few things before I get into the depth and involved in this teaching. Hallelujah. The words came out of the faithful one, and she represents the house, the daughters, the assembly of Israel. Yeah. These are the Dabarim, the words of promise, the words of King Lemuel. That was her name that she called him. That was a name. It was a name of association. As we were children, we became partakers of nicknames. So he was her Lemuel. The prophecy that his mother taught him. How did she teach him prophecy? I will get into the specifics. Unless she knew what was written in the scroll. Unless when the Zochim spoke, she heard the words. It was not drawing something from this hour. It was drawing from the book that was written. So today they draw from YouTube, MySpace, and the plethora of lies. And they all speak the same thing. They all despise the ones that call themselves white, their filthy ways, Israel. They hate the ones that call themselves Israel, that whose skin hue is dark as mine. She taught him prophecy, what the book says, what Yah commands of a nation, what he cries out unto a nation. And by the same anointing, the same authority, Shaul speaks unto us. Let us scatter among some of the vilest of nations. Not violent, but vile. We're vile. We stink. We're full of our own damnable sins. No one prevents you from loving me, my friend. It's the sin of your wicked heart. He says, as we fought in these whorehouses of Christendom, everybody, Lima sata po po po, yea, saith the Lord God. These are damnable lies out of the gutters of hell. And Shaul says, he says, although I have gifts of prophecy, or that gift, that's why Yah in the latter days will pour out his Ruach upon, he uses the word shafak. He will bathe them, sons and daughters. And the daughters shall prophesy, just like Lemuel's mother did to him. Not her taking authority over the man's head. She will speak of the hidden wisdom of Torah. And they will dream dreams. We will get into the detailed analogy of what prophecy and the root of it is. He said, though I have prophecy, he did not say I understand some things. And he said, although I understand kol, K-O-L-E, the whole, the substance of everything. Though I understand all kinds of laats, mysteries of the Club of Rome, of the Bilderbergers and governments of the world, it has already been spoken. The book has been prepared. He did not raise up YouTube to prepare you. The book prepares us. He said, and I understand all these mysteries, and he says this profoundly. And although I have all da'ats, knowledge, I have the power to discern. I have the power to understand revelation. I can see beyond my peripheral. I understand not something. I have knowledge of partial things. He said, I have da'at. I have knowledge from the throne of Yah of all, whole, everything there is to know. I have all that. And I have knowledge, all knowledge, he said, not some. He said, and though I have all, a kol imunah, I can have the greatest of faith. And of course, these whorehouses that thump, they say they have faith. They're liars. They watch their credit score, damn a credit score. They make sure that their credit score is right and they got credit cards. That's not imunah. It's not faith. He says, so that I could remove the greatest of mountains and the obstacles. I can remove it all. I can command to the mighty mountain, the head that rises of the earth. We can't even command our own sins and take authority over our own sins. We're permissive with our sins and our corruption, but you damn me. One said of me, he never cries and he never does that. Let me ask you a question. Watch T.D. Jakes and see if he cries. He cries going to the bank because he has played you for the royal sucker you are. Watch Benny Hinn, see if he cries. He cries going to the bank where he can jump in his Learjet. Watch Creflo Dollar and see if he cries. But they want to scrutinize me. You will go to hell. I don't care who you are. I will not allow you with your juvenile state of mind to scrutinize me. I'm a spiritual man. Yet they don't judge C.D. Jakes that way. Benny Hinn or Roberts. And as sure as there is a hell, they've never seen Pat Robertson cry. I am nothing and a nobody. I'm glad of that. He said, I can remove mountains with my imunah. He said, if I have not a chava, the love of Yah, this great love, that's why we don't have a damn thing today. He says, I am nothing unless I love Yah with all. Then I express that love of Yah toward you. Let me ask you a question. All of us. Do you talk to Yah? Answer in your mind. Do you pray? You talk to Yah, don't you? But I can't talk to you? You're a damn liar, man. You're a filthy liar, woman. That's a fact. You don't even care for Yah. Me avoiding you? You might as well say hallelujah. Makes me no difference. We can have all these gifts, prolific among us, but if I have not the power of this great chava, they will never work. He said he will pour out his ruach upon all flesh. Not some flesh, upon all flesh. And our young sons and our daughters, they have not been taught what love is. You have not taught them a damn thing but folly. We will deal with prophecy, its attributes. I have no education, but I do know that the words the, T-H-E, or the, we will call that a function word, right? That's what it does, it functions. To show you precisely what will come after the word the. I will go to the store. I went down to the market, the market. It functions to give us the preciseness of the matter, the identity, the location. That now gives us all of that in those three letters of a word. We speak it as ha, the language of Abraham, our forefather, fathers. I will deal with the true power, the strength, and the beauty of prophecy and how it flows and why it's not flowing among the nation. So I'm going to, as Ezra says, I'm going to let the Dabarim, the word of Yah, distill. Distill is just a little drop at a time. A little drop. A little drop. As prophecy from my faith. How about that? This is a wicked generation, my son. I hate being a part of it. But I must man the post until it's all over with. When this life is over, it's all right with me. It's going to end one day. I want to begin this teaching here. From Gilead, Revelation, in chapter 22, verse 7. This is the Sefer. This is the book. It is the writing for our exhortation, our learning, for our correction, the Muzzah of Yah, to chastise us, to rebuke us, to bind us, that we may walk in the awe, the light, the revelation of pure Torah, and that our minds will be transformed and we will become pure, tahor, without sin, without wickedness and corruption. The messenger, the Nabi, the Shulishach, Yakahan speaks in Revelation chapter 22, verse 7. This is the reply of ha-MessiYah. He says, behold, I want you to allow your mind to grasp it. Not allow yourself to abandon the concept. He says, behold, I come, I enter in. I am the one that ha-YAH. He says, I come quickly. I come quickly. And then he says this, Baruch, the blessings of the riches of all knowledge, all truth and understanding. He said, blessed is he, blessed is the man, blessed is the woman. He says that keeps, or Shema. They guard it as though the thorns they put around YAHSHUA's head. You think that that's all insignificant? That they cut down to the tentacles of his brain? We are an ignorant generation. We don't love true men of Yah. We don't give a damn about them. That's why every Nabi was killed in Jerusalem. We killed them. We destroyed. I'm not a prophet. I'm nothing. I have no knowledge of matters that are earth shaken. He is the one that's going to shake the earth. So he warns us. He tells us. He said, blessed are those that keep the saying of this Hizayon, this revelation of what? Of this book. Those that keep the Hizayon. And Hizayon, there's a pure revelation. It is a Gala. It has been uncovered. You understand the depths of it. So you don't allow your mind to be impregnated with sin. You allow your mind to be impregnated with the great Ahava of Yah. So you show that to the nations, that I love you. And this is how they all shall know that we are the ones that are disciplined behind YAHSHUA ha-MessiYah. But this is a cold nation. You can look at people and see the coldness on them and their nasty ways. You can see how cold and how indifferent one is. And Yah commands us for our ahava to be without dissimulation, but we be true to each other. He said, I am coming. You that understand the prophecy or the book, not what the YouTubers are espousing. I don't give a damn about the Club of Rome. It makes no difference if my name is on Wall Street in the belly of the water. These are stupid men. They want to prove that they have some kind of esoteric knowledge, but they don't have a damn thing. I deal in simplicity of words and truth. So we that want to inherit the Berekah of Yah, the riches of his blessings, the riches of his knowledge, the understanding of Torah, the power to operate within the confines of Torah, then we must guard the prophecy. Lemuel, his mother did not speak a prophecy that she heard out there amongst the congregation. It was written. It was established from the beginning. You get these juvenile boys, they want to compete against each other. Well, you know, the prophecy said that. I've had them to give me folders. I throw them away. I don't read it. Don't send me nothing concerning prophecy. I will show you true prophecy today. You cannot have prophecy calling on a damnable lie, Jesus Christ. It is a vile and poignant insult against Almighty Yahweh. You cannot have the degree of great Ahava walking in a lie. I will prove it out. No one has to stand with me. Shaul said, when I came, I had no man. There were daughters that were so glad and they embraced the thought of Shaul coming. But the men were cowards. They did not have, as Yosipia said, that the fire of this truth burning in them. So that's why they forsook him. That's why these cowards forsake me. I'm all right with it, Imam, and that's a fact. He says, lo, I come quickly. Now, Yohanan could not have said that unless it was prophecy. Quickly, Tehillim, Psalms 40 and verse 7. This is YAHSHUA speaking in the first person. Dawid utters the great prophecy, Psalms 40, verse 7. Then said I, lo, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. This book, the volume, is written of YAHSHUA, ha-MessiYah. I want to establish that because there is no Edoth without YAHSHUA. That is vitally important to understand. And as I proceed, I will bring out the nuances of great dynamic prophecy. The book and the volume, the Megillah, the fullness, the wholeness, the substance of the book is written. It is the living power of prophecy. I don't need to read anything on the Club of Rome. I don't give a damn about Bill's Burgers. Men think they're smart when they talk that way. They're ignorant little boys. They pick up a line from someone and they repeat it. I pick up the volume of YAHSHUA from the book. So they tell you to buy gold and buy silver and put it back. And we're that stupid to buy their lies. They tell you that there's a nuclear holocaust coming. My friends, you can dig it 10 feet in the ground. When the nuclear radiation began to fall, it kills everything. We have something greater to supply strength and life unto us than us trying to store some fat back and cabbage juice. He said, I come. This book is written of me. He comes quickly. He said, and blessed are those that keep the saying or the prophecy of this book. Now, Gileana was not written before what Dawid read. This was a letter sent dispersed throughout the nation for the house. So they did not even know about the prophecy of the book until the Nobi, the prophet, the messengers of Yah will bring revelation from the lips of YAHSHUA, from the heart of Dawid. Also in Hebrews, chapter 10 and verse 7. Hebrews 10 verse 7. The profoundness of this verse, then said I. This is YAHSHUA speaking. He says, I come in the volume of the book. It is written of me. Why is it written of him? To do your will. To asa, to shape our lives, our minds, to please Yah. We are vile, stiff-necked, uncircumcised generation. There is no prophecy among us. There is no labor of his great love. We don't give a damn about him, and we certainly don't care about each other. And that's a fact. We can sit here like damn hypocrites and pretend. If there's one thing I hate duplicity. I hate hypocrites. Daughter, I'm not a hypocrite. I won't do you wrong. I'll tell you the truth. I hate liars. There's nothing more vile than one that speaks shikah because their father is the devil. They don't have repentance and say, well, I told an untruth. They massage their lies and fabricate them, embellish their ways to make them look nice. There's nothing. The Torah says when one lies, he that lies hateth his own son, his own self. And he also hate you. You can be a damn fool all you want to and think a liar loves you. I tell you the truth. YAHSHUA, ha-MessiYah. I tell you the truth. That's why your father loved me. First thing I said to him when I met him, I said, I will knock you out. I will break your back, little man. You may push over the boys in the prison. You're dealing with a man now. His eyes turned white as that shirt. And I could see in that man that moment a real devotion and a love established in his heart for me. I took him under my wings as my son. Damn this wicked generation. His son called me the other day in Charlotte. We took our quiet home. I said, I don't give a damn about you, boy, but I care about your daddy. I don't keep pictures, but I got his picture. He says, I come in the volume. This whole book is to teach us the preciseness of the will of Yah and the beauty of his hafiz, what please him, what makes his heart happy. And by that he replies unto us by giving us revelation understanding of prophecy. That we may understand prophecy, that we may understand what is taking place, that we may fear him. We may shakha or worship him. We fall prostrate because he is the supreme master. And when we see that how you embrace him and your great love embrace him for me, then it strengthens us as a people. We become strong and fortified that there is no weapon formed against you that will prosper. And every tongue that rise up against you in judgment, it shall be brought down to the gates of hell. And that's a fact. He came in the volume of the book. The whole volume of the book, what? Is to instruct us and guide us in what please Yah. When a mother talks to her daughter, a son, a father, he instructs one in the things that will please his heart, because YAHSHUA is his heart, his mind, and his sons produce that. He came in the volume. The fullness of the book. To what? To asa, to do your will. And there's the confirmation that he says, Almighty Yahweh, I came to do your will. And when we began to please him, there's a word that is expressed by the prophets and messengers of old. it will be kun, like kun, K-O-O-M. There's a power that arises out of us. It makes us stable. It makes us firm. We are steadfast. We are bound in truth and in the love of Yah. Listen, I don't give a damn what a hypocrite think about me. I was talking to an elderly man last night. I said, you are wrong. I'm not going to even allow you to thrust that on me. I don't care who you are. I'm an elderly man. I'm not a boy. I've been around for a while. I know what I am saying. I will prove that, daughter. Listen to me. So we must have this sure thing. And the only sure thing we have is prophecy. Not someone prophesying that the economy of America is falling down. I checked, my friend, on the price of one share this morning of Berkshire Hathaway, the stock of Mr. Buffett. It was $215,215 for one share. Not two, but one share. 200. You found nothing that was even close, but something maybe $300. No share stock is as high as Berkshire Hathaway. That's not prophecy, because he got money. What is prophecy is that there's a sore evil in the land. Mainly owners, they have kept back by fraudulent devices the wages of a man to their own destruction. That's the prophecy. Not because they're filthy rich people in America, and so that is what oozes out of us and gives us strength and assurance. That's why the TD snake dogs and the liars tell you that their God, Hashatan, wants you to be rich. That's a lie. He elects, he chooses, just like he said to YAHSHUA, he said, all of this is mine, and I can make rich whom I want to. I don't give a damn about you. You bow down and you worship me, and it shall be yours. Makes us rich, that we know all things pertaineth unto this life. And Kifar speaks profoundly here. In 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 18, there is only one sure dabarim, or sure dabar. There is only one kun dabar, sure word that we need. And that's YAHSHUA ha-MessiYah. There's only one word that's going to establish us, make us to stand, that we can endure the testing, as Granny would say, the tests. We will stand firm, we will stand strong. This is what validates us. This is what confirms who we are. Not some false delusion or lie that you perpetrate and pretend you're kind. You're not kind, you're a liar. You love everyone. Oh, give me a kiss. That doesn't mean a damn thing. You take advantage, you use, you abuse. I've never abused anyone. Can I say this? I know he's listening this morning. We went out the other day when I was taking a quiet home. So we stopped at a clothing store. So he says, I really like that. He had given a tremendous offering like this family. I went out, made sure that he had lamb's meat, whatever he wanted, his family. He had given a tremendous offering. He said, I'm going to buy this. I said, all right, let me see, give it to me. He says, no, man, I'm not going to do that. I said, you're going to give me that like I said, man. I looked him right in his eyes. This doesn't mean a damn thing. I looked him right in his eyes and said, you're going to give me that. No, brother, I'm not going to do that. I said, I'll tell you what, if you don't give it to me, we're going to find ourselves in the floor right here. You will win. You will win. We're going to find ourselves there. I said, give it to me. He said, no. I said, if you don't give it to me now, we're going to find ourselves down here in the floor. So he looks at me. He understood the care and the love I said, now give me that. I told you, get out of the way. Get out of my face. And so I give him a kiss on the jaw. We greet each other with a kadosh kiss. You greet your wicked mammy, your wicked hoish daughter with that. We're vile and nasty. Give me a kiss, girl. So I kissed him. Certainly he could have paid for that. He says, if you need anything, you call. Well, I'm not going to take advantage of his great love for me. I could call him today and get money, but I would not do that. I would be dead broke before I do that, and dead broke, I still would not call him. Don't fuss at me, White. Prophecy, the measure. Kepha says here in 2 Peter 1:18, prophecy is very clear, sure words. It is powerful. He says, and we heard the voice, this voice, it came down from the heavens, Shemayim. We heard it. When we were with YAHSHUA, ha-MessiYah, we were in that place that Yah had appointed us, the Kodesh mountain. He says, we heard those words as they emanated from the voice of Yah. Then he says in verse 19, we have also, not just any words, more abundantly excellent. He said we have a more sure word of prophecy, nabu'ah. We have a sure word of nabu'ah. We have a word that rises up in us, kun. It establishes us. What is the nabu'ah? The nabu'ah. It is a word that is specific, and there is only one book that is specific. It is a word that is sure. It is a word that is established. You're not getting that from YouTube. And lying tube. It doesn't come from there. We have a more sure word of prophecy. Nabu'ah. Nabu'ah, it is genuine. It is precise. Well, America's coming down. They've been prophesying that for 10 years. Where does it come down? By go, you are a flat out dog of a liar. You're a jackass. Dig you a hole in the ground, then the earthworms will find you in the ground. You want to die, fool. You think that a nuclear cloud, you're going to be able to come out after 3 days? You are a jackass of a human being. They tell you lies. We have a sure word of prophecy. We have a more sure word. Listen, we have a more sure word of prophecy. We have a more sure word of prophecy. Isn't Yah love? Is not YAHSHUA the words bara made flesh? We have a more sure word of prophecy. It is specific. It is the nabu'ah of Yah. It is genuine. It is real. To which we have the sure word of prophecy. We have this nabu'ah. This what we must do. That we do well, that if we take heed, as we shema, we guard this word. We allow it to penetrate the veneer of our corrupt, wicked hearts. And convince us that we are wicked and full of sin. I'm going to show you the results. This is a cold generation. Listen. The way I love my wife is the way I will love you. If I love her cold with indifferences, my love for you is the same. If my love is not genuine for her, it will not be genuine for you. Your wife's the same. I don't care what your man says. If your love is disingenuine, you don't know how to love. And that's why we're cold and immature against who? Yah. When you see me, you see the will of the Father. I don't talk like T.D. Jakes. I don't talk like these men. We have a more sure word of prophecy that we take heed. As to what then? As to a light, an or, the ma'or, the great shining of the life of Yah as a light that shine in dark places. Our minds are still dark. That's why prophecy doesn't flow from us or distill from us. Forgive me, Yah. The word doesn't do that. I said to my old friend here, I said, listen, I want you to pick this book up all the time daily and read and exercise your mind. That you don't become forgetful and you miss things. There's nothing more profound than reading this book to exercise your mind. We'll sit there and watch television all damn day and peck on the computer all day and read some frivolous malarkey that we know what's taking place in the world. I know what's taking place in the world. Prophecy tells me that. This is a vile, wicked world. It despises Yah. And everything that come out of the root of that evil, it is to corrupt you and to turn your mind away from Yah. To take your time where you can't read, where there is no pleasure with time with Yah. That's what it does. And so that's what the damn internet web you like a beast. You caught up in the web, searching for what? I don't need to search. I found it all in this book, right here. You spend 10 hours a day on the internet and give Yah 30 minutes? That's so wicked. By the way, when I got up this morning, I began to look in Torah. So these are the words that he gave me this morning, all right? That's all right. They'll be right. We must do well until the day star shine in the dark place, until the dawn. When dawn comes, you know the light is on the horizon. He said that the day star rising what? In our levim. Prophecy shall arise in our hearts. It is the power of that testimony. It is the testimony of YAHSHUA. I will show us. It is that powerful testimony that calls us to rise up. He says, until the day star arise, kum, fill all the voids. Where? In your levim. Our minds on everything. Every kind of damnable vile thing, every kind of unclean thing, but we don't think about Yah. There is no spontaneity in us to shecha, to show homage unto him, that you're superior to me, that you're greater than all things. That's not there in the hearts of the nation of his people. He is held by one bound. He is bound by one thing. He is bonded to us by one thing. His words he cannot break. But he's going to kill you. And he's going to kill your nasty youngins. And he's going to kill you, you nasty liar. You know, Mom, I would love this man if he was, man, I would help him. I gave everything to a man that turned against me. And I'm not sad that I gave abundantly and richly. I'm going to finish, my son. Don't worry. I got you in my heart, okay? Hallelujah. Verse 20. He says, Yada, knowing this first, primary thing, first, that no, it cannot be. No, he uses the word chazon. No prophecy. What is the chazon of Yah? It is when Yah speaks and communicates with us. This book is what communicates with us. These are flat out liars that say that Yah told me to do this. I've had men to tell me that I've never seen the fruitions of it. They're flat out dogs. This is the book that communicates the Son. It is YAHSHUA that brings alive the communication of Yah. He's not going to talk out of the heavens unto you. This is the power of prophecy. And when one prophesy, it is according to this book and the outline of prophecy. And they will quote Yeshaya. They will quote Obadiah. These dogs, yea, said the Lord thy God, he's going to bring riches, so you know he's going to burn you in hell for all of your wicked ways. Biddy hen, well, the Lord God says Jesus Christ, and these damnable Hebrews prophesy the same name. Well, Biddy hen is just as right as you. Damn Jesus Christ. And prophesy, speak the book of prophecy. Yea, the Lord is going to give you riches, you're going to get some wealth. No, he's going to turn your backside. He's going to put the rod of correction on you. He's going to kill you. He's going to separate you from him. I see nowhere where he says that he's going to make you rich. I see where he shows that we as a nation, we learn how to love each other and stand together. We will own the world. Kings will honor us. That was my plan, daughter. It would have been done here. But there were tares in the midst And so Yah removed tares. He sent the Melech. What is the Melech? The messenger. And he sent that lie to them to speak to them. Damn them all. They're not in my mind. They will not prevent me. I don't care who it is. Oh, look at you. You get a little remorse. I don't get no remorse for when they turn their back on Yah. Don't tell me they haven't turned their backs. They're full of sin, their sons and their daughters. Look at their sons and daughters. Look at your sons and daughters that have turned away from Yah. They're wicked. You can lie for them. Look at your sisters and brothers. I said to your brother, I don't give a damn about you. What? I said to my issue, why he calls me? Why? Because he knows that there's a genuine man there. He finds comfort. I said, you save your money every dime, every nickel. When you get $3,000, I will let you come to dinner. I will cook for you. You bring me the money, we're going to find you a piece of land, boy, so you get something under your belt. I said, don't even call me until you get $3,000, at least. He knows that I'm genuine. And all of his agony of trials are that he knows he can call me, and he knows that I will rebuke him and tell him he's a damn dog and a liar. Tell me you're a stupid lad. You silly boy. That's how I'll talk to him. Why would he call me if I talk to him that way? Because he knows I'm genuine. And their sons and daughters call me. Why? Because they know I'm real. They're not real, but they know I'm real. They know that. You know why? My young daughter, they have nothing on me. They can't say he did that. He touched this when he robbed them. They can't say that. It is the truth, my friend. Prophecy, the power. He says, knowing this first, that no prophecy, no chazon, no communication with Yah as he spoke, of the Kitzveh, the scripture, ha-Kodosh, he said, it doesn't belong to you. It is no private interpretation. And people say, well, quote, now, not myself, quote, the Lord God showed me that this nation, God showed me the rising of Russia, and God showed me this, and God showed me that. Unquote. That's a lie. He shows us everything in the book. Everything we need to know is in the book. Everything I need to understand about prophecy is in the book. I will show us patterns of that in a later teaching one day. I want to get this out to us. It is no one's private interpretation. Well, that's what it meant. No, it's meant not just for Ephraim or for Yehudim, it meant for the whole house. And every one of Yisrael, when the messengers speak, they will know that it's from Yah. When one speaks true prophecy, there's an element that's there like nothing else. You cannot speak true prophecy in the name of Jesus Christ. It's not prophecy. That's why they've been prophesying for years and years. That's why a simple man like me must pour out of his ruach among our young men, that they will become strong and fervent, knowledgeable men of Torah, and they will be strong men, not some little effeminate boy, acting effeminate and looking effeminate. He must look like an ush. He has the proximity and the physicality of a real man. You're a man of war. I said to a man, we don't put our women on the front line. We are the ones that go to battle. Uriah's wife was at home when David sinned against his faithful one. And all of his warriors, they were bad to the bone. I got a teaching on that, probably 20 pages. Just on the warriors of David. I may not ever preach it, but it's there. You want to take it on, you can have it. You can come to me with any subject I don't know about. There are those I just don't break their backs, but eventually I will. He says here, he says they were moved. He says, but Kodesh men set apart, men whose lives were sincere and developed. Men want to rebuke men, and their lives are not worth a damn. I will not let you reprove me. They want to try to instruct men in their lives. Don't even represent what they say. Women want to do that and try to talk to daughters when their lives are not worth a damn. They're false and superficial. We must be real in this walk. The power of prophecy moved upon men that were set apart. Their minds were dedicated not half the damn day to YouTube. and talking on the cell phone and online rapping. I will never let a man rebuke me on that. You can rebuke me in your labor. You show me what you got, you can rebuke me. I will let no man outwork me. I was thinking about my greatest traits this morning. My greatest trait, I can dig a ditch, I can work hard, and I love working hard. Those are my most prolific traits. So that implies that everything I do it hard. Whether I'm studying, whether I'm working, I do it hard. My love is hard, it's sincere, it's true. It came by men that were Kodesh, it was set apart. They spoke as the word it says, as Yah Garash or Gaash, as he moved. You understand when the sea moves, there's a turbulence there. That's when there become a tremendous turbulence, shaking of a man. He doesn't run to the world, but he runs to the house. Woe unto my people. Show me any place in the prophecy of this book where they ran to the world, trying to save their sons and their daughters. They save the heritage of Yah. He uses the word Gaash. It is to be trouble in one's mind. These men, they were trouble. They couldn't hold it back in. They had to talk. They had to tell the nation. That's prophecy. That's when men speak with the power of prophecy. They speak with clarity in Yah's word. They could not sit down. These men today go to YouTube, get something they think nobody else has heard that. It amazes me that these kinds of things 35 years ago, I was aware of that. No internet, no YouTube, or nothing. I was a student of life even then. I would go down to the library and break things down. I could study and I could sit there for hours and read books. I would go to the bookstores and sit there. Could not afford the books, but I would sit there and read books. Then come back the next time I read the other part of it. It means nothing to you. These men were moved. They were Gaash. There was a turbulent tornado that ripped in their lives. And the power of that prophecy that they had heard spoken by Micaiah, it began to resurrect in their being, and they couldn't hold it down. Just like Jeremiah said, it's like fire. It's a burning thing in me. I cannot sit still. I cannot be quiet. I must prophesy what Yah said. Make clear the things that Abraham expounded upon. Open up the wisdom of Jacob and to show us what Obadiah implied. We don't get nothing today. Why? Because we think we have gifts. Oh, I'm a mother. You think you got a gift, mother? Oh, we're smart. Iron sharpeneth iron. When iron sharpeneth iron, let me show you an example. Back in my days when I would go to the gym, I didn't have to have the man to talk to me. I would look at him and say, boy, now, you know he's doing his thing. So I would watch what he did. I would look at him. I would watch the technique. And say, and then I would apply that. It wasn't long. He wasn't in front of me. When I learned how to swim as a young boy, there is nothing I did not learn on my own. To swim, to build. I could build as a child. I would go to the swimming pool because it was 25 sitting there, and I'd sit there for hours and watching. I watch how they breaststroke, and I watch how they were freestyle, and I would watch all of that. I would watch for hours. And the first day I jumped in the water, I could swim in the deepest of water. I didn't need nobody to teach me. The first time I jumped in the water, I could swim in the deepest of water. I could swim in 1,000, 10,000 foot of water, just like I swim in 3 feet. I used to swim in pools like that and stay afloat because I didn't have a quarter to go to the pool. And we would go to those little old fountain pools. We had at Druid Hills and all those places, and I could stay afloat in that thing as long as I got me a swim. That's the way the word of Yah is. It keeps us afloat and abreast in prophecy. We must understand prophecy. We must guard prophecy. We must, Yisrael, not the lies that these men speak. These men move by the Ruach HaKodesh. Not only were they Gaash, they were shaken, they were tossed to and fro like an earthquake. He says by the Ruach HaKodesh. That's what the Ruach did. It broke them and it shook them. And the words flowed out like the distill of the words of the mouth of Ezra, like prophecy. That's what the word is, the Dabarim. That's what the testimony is. It is a word of prophecy. Now, I want to show you that there's no power of prophecy in a nation, among people, unless this is the total resolve. This is one of the most vital things that must be among them. It's the most vital thing. Out of the mouth of Yeshua, Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. Isaiah 8, verse 20. The Nabi says, to the Torah, to the great regard and the honor of the Torah of Yah, to the Torah, and he talks about the Tehudah, to the Tehudah, to the testimony. And a testimony is what is affirmed in us. It brings warning. He talks about not the Edut, but the Tehudah. He says, to the Torah and to the testimony. If I don't speak like that, if I don't give honor unto the Torah and the testimony of what? Of the volume of the book who is written of, he says, if they speak not according to this daba, this word, he said, it's because there is no light in them. There's no power of the oil of Yah. There's no light of Torah in them. And if I don't speak according to the Torah concerning prophecy, if I don't speak according to the testimony according to Torah, there's no light. What is the light? What is the power of the light? Can I read that quickly? Show you the great pillars of this. It says in John chapter 9, verse 5. John 9:5. I know what it says. Yeshua says, as long as I am in the world, I am the light. I am the light of the world. We know that the mitzvah of Yah, that's the lamp. We know that these mitzvot of Yah, that is the lamp to us. And the Torah is the light. Yeshua is the Torah of light. He is the power of that living Torah in us. And it must be a testimony. We can't test a lie. And we test a lie. We've been taught to lie and testify as though that we've gone through some kind of egregious, grave thing in our life. We haven't done anything. You paying for your sins. You're paying for your sins. You're paying for your sins. Yeah, it's not going to be marked. We have sown it. We're going to reap it. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's me. I don't care if it's you. We've sown it. You're going to pay for what you've done. If you eat pork chop and chitlins all your days, you get 50 and call yourself serving Yah. You're going to pay the price of the pork chop and the chitlins you've eaten all your life. Yah's not mocked. Whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. That's true prophecy. You're going to understand why my condition is the way it is. We don't get by. I was talking to Simeon. I said, Simeon, we're talking about the battles. I know her natural brother. He has that syndrome of war. He just doesn't have it all here. I believe that he was an excellent soldier because I watched the war before when I spent a little time with him. I said in my mind, that's the kind that you want to keep in the military. If he just gets the discipline right. Our precious Ark White there in those war battles, don't tell me that he doesn't suffer for things. And he was a faithful soldier. I know that because I know how he interacts with me. He understands the beauty of command and order. So don't tell me that men that suffer through those great experiences, sure, y'all could heal them. But when we sow things because we're soldiers and we're willing to die for our country and we stand with preciseness, that doesn't mean that it's going to be clean out of your life. The body pays for it. And the lies that we have sown, even in our ignorance, at one time he winked. He said, don't worry about it, at our ignorance. And now he tells you to stop your damn wicked ways. Stop your violent lies and repent. Make teshuvah and change your damn wicked heart. Or you're going to die that way. I will show you what prophecies say. You think you're getting by, little hypocrite, don't you? But you're not getting by. I've sown to this body. As I've sown playing blacktop basketball on my knees. I've sown pressing the heavyweight, and I feel it in my body now. It's not going to heal. It's not going to get right. And the damn bitty hens and these liars, it's amazing that they never show you an organic healing. Or raise this woman from the dead. The heifer had fallen asleep. She had ate too many pork chops and catfish last night, and that was it. Her sugar put her to sleep. Her high blood pressure put her to sleep. You didn't raise a damn thing. Out of all the lies, they have no organic healing of Oral Roberts. Benny Hinn cannot prove one organic healing. They're liars, and there are thousands that come in wheelchairs. He never showed the folks. Oh, you got something in you, got something in you. Why it's always got to be in? Why? Let me see it. I said to a man that I used to fellowship, I said, you got a child that's crippled. You say you got the power? Heal the child. Well, I haven't gotten that yet, and you still haven't gotten that, calling on a damn Jesus Christ. We're going to reap what we sow in our flesh. You sow to the flesh of the flesh, you're going to reap corruption. Now let's start sowing to the Ruach. That's why you look crazy. That's why you act crazy, because you sow to the flesh out of your pure hatred and your despising and rejection of his nation. I love his people. I love his people. I'd rather live with you, my friend. I'd rather be with you. I'd rather be around you. I'd rather be around your issue, because she doesn't trouble me. She's never been smart-mouthed with me. She doesn't bother me, and I don't bother her. And when I see you in the morning, I'm not going to speak to you. I speak to everyone at one time. All of my daughters, because that's how much honor I have for them. You don't honor any damn one. I'm going to teach this true prophecy, the power of it. YAHSHUA says in John 9:5, as long as I'm in the world. Now, I know that he meant the specifics of that. He is in the world. He said he will not leave us comfortless. I will continue on the Ruach HaKodesh one day. But he will send the Ruach, he will send the power of the promise of Yah's word. He says, as long as that is in you, what the testimony, we must keep that. I will prove it, daughter. We must have the testimony. We've been taught to test a lie. I'm kind to everybody. You're not kind to everyone. I love the people. You don't love the people. I do nice. You don't do nice by the people. You can watch me laboring my back breaking. You will not give me one hand. I love being around the sisters. You're a liar. You don't like being around the sisters. You're damned of a liar. Well, I love the brothers. You don't love the brothers. And pretend you're so sanctimonious. You are sanctimonious, but you're not set apart. I love everybody. You're a liar. That's why I don't tell people I love them. I haven't said that in 30 years. Because I know how we are. It's a false pretense. You will know my love. I will show it. You will know because I will reveal your sins, first of all. That's the power the Ruach comes to convict. YAHSHUA said, I'm the light of the world. The Torah is the lamp. The Torah is the light. The Torah is the light unto us. And then he tells us that reproof of instruction, that's life. That's the only way you're going to get life. This wicked generation, don't want to tell them how wrong they are. It doesn't. That showed us how the Ruach, even the sons and the daughter would say, Mama, you're wicked. It would say, Mom-in-law, you're flat out wrong. It would say, Dad-in-law, you're not right with Yah, because they have the Ruach HaKodesh. We don't do that today. We patronize with this wicked world. I will not. I will not patronize with it. I don't care who you are. You look at our faces, they're mystifyingly horrible. He's listening. He's going to get something today. Oh, Spider, I don't believe that that's Mama, Daddy. I believe that's one of the sons. He said, just stay here. I'm going on. You got a spot. That preacher won't mess with you. He understands your position. He got a place down there, but he understands you. Just stay here. You get all you need. Voila. Hallelujah. This is true prophecy here. You can't have the testimony of Jesus Christ. Revelation, Gileana, chapter 19, verse 10. And I want to bring this to some preciseness here. I want to show us something here in Revelation chapter 19, verse 10. Yokohan said, when I saw this great Melech, the messenger of Yah, carrying the message of Yah, the fire of the coals of the throne of Yah. His word is fire. It is a consuming fire. He said, when I saw this Malak, I fell at his feet to Shekha. I fell to say, you're superior to me. He made us a little lower than the Malak. He loves man. Man, I don't care what the world tells you, he loves man. And the enemy used one of the most vital components of man's heart to bring him down, the woman. But he loves man. He's mindful of him. I was talking to my Ishmael about that last night. I said, what is it, daughter? He is so mindful of man. He cares for man. And the enemy has done everything he could by the offspring of man to bring him down. But man is still the head. He made him to be the ruler and the lion. That's why we don't put our wives out to battle. We don't put them out before wicked men for them to try to instruct and to teach them. We stand, and they stand behind us. They are our strength to encourage us to press on. We got these effeminatified boys that mom and daddy, they don't even tell them their sins and show them their little wicked, corrupt ways. It is a brood and a breed of offsprings that are meant for hell. Listen to what the messenger said. And I fell at his feet to Shah to worship him. And he said unto me, no, no, no. See that you do not that. He said, I'm a fellow servant. I'm an Abidim. I serve Yah. I serve at the feet of Yah. I serve ha-MessiYah. I serve you the word. I serve you the life. He says, I am of your Achim. And he did not say, I have the riches of heaven. He did not say I was bringing money. He said, I have the testimony of YAHSHUA, ha-MessiYah. We're going to understand the depth of that. He said, I got the testimony. I will show you the intels of that testimony. That is the power of prophecy. He said, I have the testimony of YAHSHUA. He says, worship Yah for the testimony. For the testimony, for the Edoth, for the Edah, the testimony, for the testimony of YAHSHUA is the Ruach, it's the life of prophecy. You're not going to get prophecy in Jesus and Lord and God. It must come by the Ruach of YAHSHUA, ha-MessiYah. For that is the power of prophecy, not what internet says, not what YouTubers are discussing, but it is in the book. The volume of the book is written of him. He comes in the volume and the fullness and the wholeness of the book. He comes out. Don't send me that. If anything, you send me a scripture and say, bless you, preacher. It's for you. Don't send me no internet, no YouTubing videos. I don't want it. I mean that. Don't send me nothing. Send me a scripture if you want to bless me. Send me a katuv. Send me a katuv. That witness of prophecy. For it is the power of that ruach. That's why there's no prophecy. This what T.D. Jakes and all them are doing, that's delusion. But prophecy is the volume of what YAHSHUA is. That is true prophecy. It affirms us. It confirms who he is. It gives us stability and strength that we're willing to stand and we can stand. And after we've done all to stand, we stand still anyhow. It's not of our might and strength. It is of the assurance and the confirmation of this book. That's what prophecy does. That's what the Nabu of Yah. It is specific. It is precise. It is not vague. It is not vague. It is precise. It is precise. It's not watered down. And because we don't have this great love, we want gifts, but we don't want the love. You get your fat, wicked heart right, you can see clearly how to help each other. You sit all day and eat like hogs, and that's me included. I didn't get this size by running around a track field. We're greedy and we're lustful. We're selfish. We don't want y'all to speak to us. We're liars and perpetrators and false. We're haters of Israel. We hate one another. We despise each other. We don't want the company of each other. We're envious. We're jealous. We should provoke one another with jealousies on the tough word. If you see a man, he's strong and he's beautiful, he stands by the messenger of Yah, it should provoke you to tough words. You see a daughter that her ways are pristine and right. Because you don't see the right ways, because you're wicked. To those that are defiled and unbelieving, there's nothing right. They despise everyone, and they damn as well despise you as well. But to those that walk in the pure word of prophecy, there is nothing unpure to them. I don't care how wrong it is, it's right. Because everything work for the love of them that love Yah. And he has called to endure that thing. They hated Yahshua. The ones that walk close by. For some reason we think we're negated from that. You're going to die the way you are. The way you are today, that's how you're going to die. That's a fact. Get right with Yah. And do it now. Get right with Yahweh. Let the prophecy, the testimony show you how. We need the testimony, Yisrael. What is the testimony? I want to show you something. See, if I ask us that, I know we don't know. I know Yahshua is the testimony, but we must find it in the book. So Yah says, man, you go in that garden, work all day. And I work in the garden too. Got to keep it right. I know he has his impediments. If your footsies are hurting, go sit down. Oh, I'm all right. Okay. We just do this a little bit. Don't worry about the rest. I won't let him outwork me. I won't let the two or three of you together outwork me. That's love. That's one of my greatest strengths. I can work. I work with the best of them. I may not be the best preacher, but you may know well you got to tithe when you work with me. You're going to work. I said to him, and them too as well, I said, you tell your daddy you're going to work tomorrow. No plan. We're going to get down and do it. Don't work with me. How about that? What is the testimony? We hear this, Zachain talk. He talks about it all the time. I want to show you something. This must be our life source and our bread of life. Turn to Shemoth, Exodus. Exodus chapter 16. This is the testimony. I'll show you the power of that through scripture, all right? Exodus chapter 16, verse 33. And the power of the voice of Moshe rose up, and he said unto Aharon, he told him, I want you to take a pot, and I want you to put an omer of man. Nana, what is this? That's how it is pronounced in the meaning, but it's truly a man. I want you to, isn't that amazing? That the bread comes from a man. That's how you not say, it's not manna, it's not manu, it's man. M-A-W-N, you enunciated man. He said, I want you to put an omer full of manna, this bread that has come down from the heavens. The revelation of prophecy, that's what Yahshua is. He is the revelation. He is the revealing of prophecy. He says, I want you to put this inside and lay it up before Almighty Yahweh. You tell me, bread? How long to keep it? For a week? To be kept? To be guarded? To be shamar? For your generations? For your God? That is there an S on generations? He did not say generation, does it? How do you keep something that's bread for generation? We keep the matter, the power of this testimony in our hearts. We pass it on to our generation. You have passed on lies and sins to your sons and daughters. Falsehoods. You haven't passed on the prophecy. Hear this now. Hold that for a moment. Hold that in Exodus 16:3. Zakim, what do you all turn quickly to Yochanan, chapter 6 and verse 51. Zakim Yaramaya, read that quickly for me. Stand up. John chapter 6 verse 51.
It says,
I am.
The living bread.
He says, I'm the high of the high. I am the living lacham. I am the man. I am the matter. I am the bread of life. I am the living bread.
Which came down
Which in it came down from where?
from heaven.
From the Shemayim I came from the heavens. Where did the man or the manna come from? It came from heaven. It came from heaven. It came from heaven. It came down from heaven. It came from heaven. It came from heaven. It came from heaven. It came from heaven. Just like prophecy come from heaven. It comes from the heavens. He said, I'm the living bread. I came down. I came down. I'm the living lechem. I came down from the heavens. And what else? That if any man what? That may Ara consume to eat thereof, he shall not die. He shall not die. But what happens?
He says, I am.
Read on.
The living bread.
That came down.
That came down from Shemayim. If any man eat of this bread, he shall live forever.
He shall live leolam fiat.
And the bread that I will give.
The bread that I will give.
Is my flesh.
And the word was made flesh. We must seek this truth. We must consume it, which I give for the life of the world. We must eat the truth, Torah, my friend. We don't want to eat it. We don't want to eat the truth about me. We don't want the prophecy about me. This book is the prophecy of you. That's why it's not of your own private interpretation. It is of the house of Israel. It's showing you you're a liar, a thief, and a cutthroat, and you're damned unto hell. Any man eat this lecture. The same bread, they ate that bread and they died. Because they didn't eat it with truth of heart. They didn't eat it with emunah. You eat this bread today, you're going to live. And though this body may fall away, it's going to be renewed by the power of this life, this bread of life. And that bread is the testimony. Well, you're sharing that. Well, let me read on here. Let me read one more place here. Hallelujah. In the 34th verse of Shemos 16. As Yah commanded, he savah to Moshe. So Aharon laid it up before, not just a testimony, but the testimony for what? To be kept. As long as I was in the world, what Yahshua said, I kept them. It is the testimony that keeps you. It is the prophecy of the testimony that keeps you. That's what guards you, Yisrael. That's why we hate it. That's why we hate the testimony. It is prophecy. I don't care what the New World Order is doing. They can drop bombs all day. Well, the devil, no, it's not the devil, it's Yah. He's the one that drops the bomb. The heart of the king is in the hands of Yah. As he turns the river, so he turns the heart of the king. It wasn't America that dropped them bombs in Iraq. It was Yah. It was Almighty Yahweh. It wasn't Yah. It wasn't the devil that caused your son to die. It was Almighty Yahweh. He killed him. Life and death is in the power of my tongue. It's in his tongue because he makes alive. He gives life. He kills and he makes alive. It's a crazy generation. I don't want to live secluded. I don't live among young people. That's boring. In your little place by yourself, and all you're going to do is watch television. And if you're not one that loves to work, you're not going to do anything. Your life is bored. I don't want my life to be bored like that. I like to work. I want to work until I die, until I have no physical. Now, I'm not going to sit in the house all day and eat cookies. Sit around and watch as the whores and the pimps play the whores as the world turn. And I don't know what the whore shows are now. I'm quite sure they're still the same. They got faggots on there and all that. And you sit down there and pour that into your mind. And you somebody, you're a filthy Jezebel. You're not even a Jezebel. You're a dirty slut of a whore. You're a damn dog. I said that way. You're not even what the fatback boys of the rappers call a woman. You don't even classify as that. You're not even a damn dog. You sit and watch some lies like that and talk about you love lies. You're a filthy, damnable, twisted, wicked, hypocrite woman. And you faggot man that say it's all right and you sit there with it. You're a dirty bastard. I don't take nothing back. You're a dirty slut of a hoe. You know the word. You don't know a damn thing. You're an ignorant Jezebel. I'm talking to you. How about that? You got more time for internet than the love of Yah's people. I'm hitting you in here too. Gotcha. See, your expression tells just what you are. You're a filthy dog, and I don't take it back. You stay on your damn smartphone. You're not even smart. I'm going to finish today. I got an hour. Let me read this. This is the beauty of any woman right here. I'm not going to even tell you where it's at. It says that this woman, it says this, above all things. I want you all to hear this, daughters. It says her husband is Yada. He is known. Her husband is known. He is Yada. He's perceived. Her husband is known in the Shibir, the gates of the city. When he sits among the elders of the land. See, when he sits among elders, when a woman got all that she thinks she got, when a man sits down with the other elders, all the others are quiet. He speaks by prophecy. Do y'all hear me? Do y'all hear me? When a woman is all that she says she is, and she talk that talk, but she doesn't have a damn thing in her. When the men sit together, we sit over here after prayer. You watch us, we sit together, we congregate. You all right? It says that her husband is known in the gates when he sit among the elders, the Zachinim of the land. Why? Because she covers him. She makes fine linen. She dresses him well. She makes fine linen. She sells it, and she delivers girdles unto the merchants. It says strength and honor. That's what she got. She has the ooze, and she has kabod. She's a strong woman. She has honor. She honors everyone. She don't partially honor. She honors strength and honor. Strength and honor. That's what she wears, and she rejoices in times to come. She rejoices in prophecy. She wants it to be fulfilled. That's what she does. Not a liar. Not sitting on her eyes and pretending she's something she's not. When a man sits down, the profoundness of his wisdom utters from his mouth, and men are captivated by his words. How many men do we find like that? This is a tribute to the woman. Listen. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. She looks well to the ways of her house. She eateth not the bread of idleness. I said to one the other day, I said, I had this cell phone for 25 years. Same number. And I guarantee you I don't have 500 hours on it. I've never talked on it. Just for emergency. And the only reason I say, man, we're spending that much a month, let me use it more. That's a fact. She doesn't eat the bread of idleness. She eats the bread of the testimony. If you're sharp, daughter, if you sharpen yourself daily, everybody will see it. I will. Boy, she's beautiful. She sure looks crazy. Look at her. Why she looks like that and acts like that? What's wrong with Raphael? Hold up, daughter. What's wrong with you? She doesn't eat the bread of idleness. Idle mind, talking about nothing that is of significance and of any importance. She doesn't eat the bread of idleness. She opens her mouth with hukmah, with wisdom. She's not a jackass of a clown. She's not always laughing and grinning and shuck-bucking like a jackass. She draws no attention to her. Her attention is relayed to her man. Her tongue is the law of great kindness. Her tongue is the law of kindness. Her tongue is the law of kindness. It is a Torah of kindness. Chesed. Everything she says is kind. Her tongue is a law of kindness. She looks well. Her tongue is a law of kindness. She looks so well to her household and her children. They'll rise up and call her blessed. And this is it. Her husband also, he is praised. He praiseth her. Many daughters. Shlomo had many women. but there were none like her. That's why when a man finds a wife, he finds an excellent thing. And he finds favor of Yah. Yah grants the man favor. That's what a wife is. Not some kind of serious, typical attitude that I got me a husband. I want somebody to have my husband. Well, you're not even a wife. You see why folks don't like me? Because he's is real. It's real. True prophecy. Her husband around and say, "You're so beautiful. Bless you. You're the strength of my loins. I bless you, daughter of Zion." That's what YAHSHUA wants to arise in our hearts, kum, by prophecy, and we bless him. They're full of lies. They're full of lies and pretenders. Hallelujah. This is a crazy generation. Our women behave crazy, and our men are just flat out effeminified. They're effeminate. Hallelujah. Let me move on. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. This is the testimony, the manner that would testify of this great ha-MessiYah to come, the bread, the life, the bread of life. He said that I was the living bread. He said that the volume of the book is written of him. He didn't say it was written about me. It's not written about you, it's written about him. He come in the volume of the book. He comes in the volume. To give you no history lesson, he said, I'm the volume of the book. Now you eat this bread, which is my flesh, which is the living Torah, you're going to live. You're going to live. You're going to live. And the only thing we have is a sure word. This is the only thing we have. Can I direct our attention to this, Tehillim Psalms 19:7? This is the only sure word we have here. No other sure word is the testimony. It is prophecy. This is the sure word. Psalms 19:7. It says the Torah of Yahweh is perfect. Is it perfect? Was YAHSHUA perfect on me? It says the Torah of Yah is perfect. And it tells you the power of the Torah converting, or shub. It converts the being of a man. It will say soul, but the nephesh. When one gets this living Torah of prophecy in them, it changes them. It converts you. It changes you. Converting the nephesh. He says the testimony. The testimony of Yah, the testimony. YAHSHUA, the testimony of Yah. It is omein, it is sure, it is of emunah, it is steadfast, it is strong, and it never changes. YAHSHUA, the testimony of YAHSHUA, is the ruach of prophecy. You cannot get prophecy without that testimony. There's no prophecy without the testimony or the spirit of the testimony of YAHSHUA ha-MessiYah. That's why this is the weak, beggarly generation. They buy lies, but they won't buy this kind of truth. They won't buy this kind of truth. I'm not going to be loved by men. And I'm not trouble. The testimony of Yah is sure. It is what confirms us. He is faithful. We got to know that testimony of the Ruach of YAHSHUA to understand prophecy. That's why everybody searching YouTube to understand prophecy. Buy gold, get your gun. That is so stupid. Telling you to buy guns for what? Baby, when they drop the bomb on you, they drop the bomb on a little scattered few folks, they're going to run. You think they're little 45s. Boom, boom, boom. They can drop a ship over this building right here and sink a bullet every square inch. Where are you going to run? Tell me, under the bench? 45 cal. You can see light from the heavens through the roof. It would tear everything to pieces. And it doesn't take 2 hours to do that. Just sweep with every building. And the stupid generation telling you to buy guns. These effeminate men telling you to buy guns, gold and silver. Folks love that though. They buy men like that. He never touches on their sins now. That's why they don't love me. Listen. He said, for the testimony of Yah is sure. It makes wise we that are petit. We're simple. Our minds are open to every kind of trash, isn't it? He said, makes wise the simple. What is this testimony? How do we express it? He says that the pikud, or the statutes, the precepts of Yah, they are YAHSHUA, they're upright. They're upright. Daughters, they are statutes to a wife. Man, they are statutes to a man. They're upright. They convert you. They're upright. They're upright. They're upright. He said, and when you know when one is upright, let me show you. I want all you to look at me for a moment. They're upright because why? He uses the words, he says they rejoicing, the heart rejoice. In the midst of great agony and calamity, your heart rejoice. Because why? You have a sure testimony. Your testimony is sure. You can walk around here looking like a broken ship all sunk down in the mire. I will not. You can come here that way, but I will not. He said it rejoiced the heart. Things don't go your way, so what? Tell me what in life is going to go your way. Your youngins didn't go the way you thought you trained them. It is the truth, mother. We need a sure word. And you're sure that testimony is the only sure word. That's where we're going to get life from, that testimony. We don't fear the club of Rome. We don't fear them sitting a warship over here dropping bullets. You think that little 22, that little 30 cal that's so stupid. You think they're going to drop that thing? They can send a drone here and just up there, just drop. You won't even know where it's coming from. You ask the terrorists there in the world they call terrorists. This country is the terrorists, all right? It's a shame that we terrorize each other. We're afraid to say something around each other. Afraid to be me. I'm not going to let no one to put me in a position like that. You don't come in with your bull jive either. Brother that was he wrote me, he says, Raah, he visited us. He said, even as Queen of Sheba, the wisdom of Shlomo, when I came to that place, it cannot even be spoken of. And he's been supporting us for a while. He said, don't write me when I send you an offer. I said, no, you put your address on there. Because I cut it off in tape. I said, I'm telling you to do it. I said, do what I told you to do. So I'll mail you back. I appreciate what you do, man. And there are folks that have never given me a dime, but they want to tell me something. I'm not going to let you do that. There are folks that very few we let come here without. You all that give, you're free to come anytime. We'll make sure you have a place to sleep. But there are folks don't give a nickel. And they think they're just going to come. It's not going to be that way. It's to our supporters. You give. You can eat with us anytime. But can I ask you a question? You're the elderly person in here. You think that T.D. Jakes, if folk called on us, I want to come visit you, I'm coming to Dallas, you think he's going to put them up? You think we got a cafeteria here, you can buy all the food you want. And this is how callous in the hearts of people are. They don't give a damn, they don't care about nobody. They've been taught not to care. They've been taught not to care. And they think, well, if I come here, I want you to put me out. Well, we got electricity, got a nice bed, we got to wash all the linen when you leave, we got to clean up. You don't give a damn. You think Benny Hinn is going to put you up? You are supporters. You're welcome anytime, always. There are folks that they don't send much of money, but that's all right. They're hard. And I know this. You got more to send, hypocrite. You come. I say to this man, don't tell me you're coming. Just tell me you're coming. Don't call and ask and you come. I said, next time you do that now, I can't get tough. I don't care how tough you are. I can't get tough. Just come. I say to your husband all the time, my friend, come. Come visit me. It's amazing how cold we are. We take advantage of love. I will never do anyone like that. Never. Can I proceed a little further because I want to finish this, all right? We won't have service this evening as Arcane is going to teach. But let me finish this. He says in Psalms 19:8, the statutes of Yah are upright, rejoicing the heart. The misvu, or the mitzvah, the command of Yah is pure. And this is what it does, it enlightens the eyes, the ayin. This is what enlightens us. What he commands us to do by prophecy, if we don't do it, what does it do? It show us how the nation turned away from what he said. We see the results of that, don't we? That's what prophecy is. It is not some new hidden agenda. It is the same. Man is the same from the day he created him. He's rebellious and hard-headed. There is nothing new. There is no new prophecy coming, Israel. Don't let these lying dogs tell you that. The prophecy is the same. The book and the volume must be fulfilled. YAHSHUA must be revealed in us. It's the same. That's not going to be another book. That's why you go. Can I say this? 15 years ago, you could search the name Yah, and there were only like 14,000 documents. I know what I'm saying, daughter. Before they were using the name, I was using it. You understand? You search the name God and Lord Jesus, back then you had 305 million documents. I said to one recently, I said, I will show you. Now let me ask you of this confusion. 14,000 documents, that's not that much. 14,000 pages. I can read that. I can read that within a span of a certain amount of time, a year or two. Just taking my time. That's all it was, 14,000. You look up the word God, Lord Jesus, you got 1.2 trillion pages. You couldn't read that in 10 lifetimes. Your lifetime, my life, all of our lifetime, we couldn't read all that. You understand? You can kind of find your way through 14,000, though, can't you? You can find your way. So you know it's confusion. Something is wrong. Something isn't right. And now, these jitterbugs out here, you got millions of documents. You got 100 million just on the name. That just has proliferated in the last 7, 8 years. I know what I'm saying. These cats are new. These are little juvenile boys. And I know what I'm saying. It has proliferated overnight. The testimony of prophecy. Why is it so important? Why must we have this? Isaiah. Chapter 8, verse 15. Yisrael, we must have this profound testimony of prophecy. Yah speaks to the prophet Isaiah, Yeshaya, to warn his nation. Isaiah 8:15 to verse 16. He said, many among them shall stumble. We haven't a fall, haven't we? We stumble, we fall. He said, many of them shall stumble, and they shall fall, and they shall be broken. They're not going to get up, they're going to be broken, and be snared, and they're going to be taken. There are many that are snared, they're taken, they're snared in their own sins and their own corruption, and they have been taken. They have a religious, they have a form of righteousness, but it's not according to truth. They want to pretend, they want to boast, but it's not real. It's not sincerity. They defile the Shabbat. You are flat out liar when Yah tells us to Zokah ha-Shabbat and Shema Kadosh. You say you can break it. And your master tells you to work and work on your job and you break the Shabbat. You're a flat out liar. You don't strengthen one's hands with that. I will never do that. I will quit the job. I would not. That's me. These men don't have what I have. Listen to this. He says in verse 16, he tells us the Sarah to bind up what? Isaiah 8:16. He said you must bind up what? The testimony. You must bind it up. You must Sarah. It must try. You must be real. You must go through for it. He said, bind up the testimony and seal the Torah among who? My disciples, my Talmudim. They're the only ones that have this in their hearts. Those that have it not, they're not his. He said, for my death, as we see the Pesach, mark the doorposts, the testimony, and the Torah. And when the death melech comes, he's going to kill everything. The damn firstborn that are 3 months and the one that are 99. Bind it up, what the testimony in the Torah. Bind up the testimony in the Torah. Bind up the testimony in the Torah. Testimony is not some lie you perpetrate. It is the life you live. People will see it. People will see your beauty. You don't have to dress like a filly flock horse for men to see your beauty. My wife walks crippled and I see it I don't boast. I say this to show this stupid generation women think because they got on something tight and their buttocks and their titties are hanging out. They broke down and you can see everything up here. My wife dressed just like that. She walks crippled and I see it everywhere we go. I see women stop. You're so beautiful. You're so attractive. Oh, you look so lovely. I see it all the time. It's not something that I'm pretending. And they won't even speak to me. We go in places that speak to her, but I'll say, you don't realize you're speaking to me. They turn their head. I'm not troubled about that. And she doesn't have her buttocks out, her ass out, and looking like a cheap slut. You don't have to be out there doing something stupid and crazy. I don't do it. And look at me like, whoa, who is that cat? Because I'm serious as death. Last time at the store, David, he was happy to see her. He smiled with her. Then when he looked at me, he looked at the card, he turned his head. Not offended, my friend. I said, isn't that a Marcus uncle? He smiles at her. He knows that we come together. And he looks at me. When he looks at me, just like he turns his head like this. Get out of here. My friend, I'm not offended because you don't like me. I'm glad you like it. You're telling me you like me. Because that is me. We're icha. We don't want you telling me that. So you don't have to dress like that, daughters. See, the world has taught you all how to dress and you think you're fly. That's not being fly. Your beauty is not that. That's not your tifra. It's not. You draw no attention on you. Your beauty will draw attention to your man. And they will say, boy, he is a prize man. It's somebody like that. She's crippled now. But she knows, put it here. I got you. You all right? No? Okay, don't worry, baby. Just take your time. I got you. I'm not ashamed. Not ashamed of YAHSHUA. Not ashamed of what he gave me. And all that crippleness. She get where she can't walk, I bathe her and push her. I bathe her and clean her out. You don't have to worry about doing it. I get up early, bathe her. I designed something where I can wash you up and take care of you. How about that? I'm too big, so take me on home, yeah. I mean that. I'm not just talking to impress anyone. This is a damn false generation. I hate it. You will know when a woman loves her man because you will love your neighbor. That's right, hallelujah. He tells us to bind, to try the Torah, to bind up the Torah and the testimony. And we must seal that in our hearts, among my disciples. We are the disciples. That's what must be in us. We can't hate each other and despise each other. We must do tov unto all men, but especially Yisrael. You do right by every man. I do right by every man. Believe me, I try to get a bargain everywhere I go. I go in these stores. What do you have for veterans? Do you have any kind of discount for elders? What do you do? Do you have any coupons? Well, by the way, we do. I don't care if I save $1. That's all right by me. Before I bought something, I searched every price in town that's closed. Well, they got it for this over here. Well, we're match plus 10. Well, you're talking to me. That's all I do to save us money. To save a nickel or dime is important here. Hear what the Torah says. I want you to hear this. I want you to hear this dialogue. Just listen to this. I'll tell you where it's at. It's in the book of Sirach. This is why that when we find men with wisdom, they understand the power of prophecy. This is what Sirach says. Now, I'm going to read verse 1 and drop down to 32. You can't read one verse or cut through and say you think you understand. All right, listen what he says in verse 1 of Sirach 24. Then I'm going to drop down to 32 through 34. Sirach says, wisdom, when a man has wisdom, he shall praise Yah. When a man has no wisdom, he will not lift up Yah. Wisdom, praise Yah. He is moved, he is gosh, he is shaken. He's not some kind of lame, cool daddy. I don't care what people say about me. Makes me no different. Wisdom, because I know the greatness of our Abba. Wisdom, praise Yah. And it says, and she will, and you will rejoice in the middle of her people. When you see those with women, you'll get happy. Oh, my. That old woman gets back there. See, she's got one or two going with her. That old woman gets back there, and I know her body aches at times. You have a few pains. We got these stiff clowns, they can't even move for y'all. The woman get back there, I don't care how long you sing, she's back there just boom, 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 and don't stop either. She gets back there. I won't stop you, mama. Never, never. Never, never let her do that. You got jokers that's so cool and women that are so, oh! And they say they love you. They're liars. When one has wisdom, wisdom rejoices among the people. And then he says in verse 32, this is what Sirach says. I thought it was Ezra, but that's all right. I got up this morning and began to search the book. He said, I will also make the Musa, the instructions. Sirach 24:31. The Musa is the reproof and the counsel of Yah. He said, I will always make instructions of doctrine, teachings, the Lama, the instructions of Yah. He said, I'm going to make it shine forth like the dawn. We're waiting for the day star of the dawn, the star, it shall rise in our hearts at dawn. See, it all ties in together. That's why every word is important. He says, and I will make it shines afar off. Listen to what he says. He says, I will again pour out teaching. That's what we need. Meant to pour out teaching what? Like Nabu'ah, like prophecy. It is so precise, so profound. He says, I'm going to make this what wisdom does. I'm going to cause the teachings to be poured out like prophecy and leave it to all, not some, but to all future generations, that they will understand the power of prophecy, the Nabu'ah, the preciseness, the trueness of what the volume of the book is about. I leave it to all future generations, not some. Every generation shall hear it and know that I cause it to distill from a mighty power of profound teaching. Where is that today? He says unto us, observe. I want you to understand I have not labored for myself alone. What I'm doing is not for me. It's that prophecy is no one prophet interpretation. He said, but all who seek wisdom and instruction. You that seek wisdom. We seek lies and everything, but we don't seek wisdom and instructions. We don't do that, Yisrael. He said, this is for all you that seek wisdom and instructions. You want something, you'll get it. This is for all of you that seek wisdom and instruction. He said, I'm going to make the words that I teach, they're going to be like me prophesying. And that's what the book is. It is a book of prophecy. And the only way you're going to prophesy, not this, listen to me, Yisrael. I never did. Those men in the days that I was growing up, all those in that Jesus told, it was something how they were somewhat afraid of me. I would just stand back and watch them. I had one day I went to this assembly. He had a white limousine. That thing was stretched out almost long as this building. That's not an exaggeration. It was so long it was pathetic. He had on a white suit, white shirt, white tie and all. And he was up there acting like a fool. And I was sitting, I always sat on the front row because if you want something to look at the back of my head. You're not going to stop me. And I'm not going to look at your dismay from the back and I get discouraged. So I always went to any place that I sat on the front row. Always, come on, mama, you're going to sit up here with me. He jumps down out of the pulpit. He says to me, you don't have to want to be like nobody. I said, you're right about that. I'm talking to myself. He pulls out one of his cards. He said, here. He was a bishop too. He had his own driver, limousine chauffeur. Big old backseat in that limousine. I'm like, he said, you called me. You think I called him? If I was looking to preach, the only thing I'd do was call him. I wasn't even impressed. I said, Yah, if he thinks I want to be like him, he is wrong. I don't want to talk like him. I don't want to be phony like him. I'm not going to do that. You understand? Let me show you. Everybody raised up, they were so happy you could hear a rat urinate on cotton. So the person of that assembly called me and asked me, will you come preach? Because they heard me on the radio. When I finished that day, her daughter was mad. She was a crackhead. Everybody in that whole place was mad with her. Her husband, the husband of the wife, and all of them were mad. Everyone was upset with me. I didn't get no greetings. But that other preacher, they took care of him. They take care of me. You think they invited me back? Never did. That's all right. I knew once I went in a place that was going to be my last time, so I make it well. They never invited me back, never for nothing. Well, I just love the broadcast. Oh. Now, the same broadcast, I just go to look. I got 15 minutes, and then I had 30 minutes. I go into greater depth when you give me an hour and a half now. Let's move on, all right? Hallelujah. Hear this. Where is the testimony? This is the testimony right here. That's why the spirit of prophecy or the Ruah. Let me show you this. Trust. And if you don't remember nothing, remember this in 1 Corinthians 1, 4, and 5, and 6. Let me read beginning at verse 4. Shaul says, I told him about Yah always on your behalf, for the free unmerited have in favor of Yah which you give, which is given to you by YAHSHUA ha-MessiYah. Then he goes on to say that in everything that you are dashen, you are enriched. You become prosperous. You have the anointing. You become rich by him. That's the only way we become prosperous. And we have the dashen. By him, he says, in all utterance, or in all the dabarim of the promises of Yah, and in all knowledge. See, this is how we get all knowledge. This is how we do it through YAHSHUA, through the Ruach of prophecy. That's why we don't have it. Hear what he says in verse 6. He said, even as, not just the function word, the testimony of YAHSHUA ha-MessiYah. He said, it has been kun. It must be confirmed in us. You can confirm when one is a liar. You know when someone is lying. Mamas, you and daddies raised young. You boy, don't lie to me. Boy, don't lie to me. I'll smack your head. He's a young man. He said, yeah. You know when they're lying. Huh? You don't have to see it. You know they're lying. Well, you weren't there. How do you know? See, he has the Ruach of guardians. He has that. He has the Ruach of guardians. That's why she knows when they're lying. Mama, I do it. See, when they begin to testify like that, you know they did it. No, Mama, no, Daddy. I will correct you with kindness, but I'm going to correct you. He said, even as the testimony of YAHSHUA ha-MessiYah was confirmed where? In you. He said that it was kun. It was stable. It was established. How did this man say this? How could Shaul, a warrior against, how could he say this? Can I show you how he said that? Will you believe me? Let's look at the prayer of Dawid in 2 Samuel. I'll show you why he said that. See, this book, YAHSHUA came in the volume of this book, and the Ruach of YAHSHUA is the Ruach of prophecy, isn't it? Now look what he says in 2 Samuel chapter 7, verse 24. This is Dawid speaking here. 2 Samuel, chapter 7, verse 24. He says unto us, 2 Samuel 7:24, for you, Almighty Yah, for you have confirmed to yourself your people Yisrael to be a people to you forever. That's the power of the testimony. That's the power of prophecy. It is to confirm. The testimony is to confirm, not these lies. He's going to give you a house. He's giving you nothing. And they would say, quote, your good credit gets you a house, unquote. Your credit scores get you a house. He confirmed that. Just like Shaul in Corinthians, he said, YAHSHUA was confirmed in you. We are the body of YAHSHUA. That body is confirmed in him. For you have confirmed to yourself, Yah has, your people Yisrael, to be a people to you forever, and you, Yah, are become their Abba. He has confirmed that. That's why we need the Ruach of prophecy. We need the spirit of prophecy, not someone talking about getting a Cadillac. Not someone, woe unto you, yea, say the Lord God, he's going to bless you with a house, and no, he's going to whip your backside with a rod. He's going to chasten you. Every son or daughter you receive, he chastened them. He put the rod on you. That's why people don't love men that will put the rod on you. And the ones that get a rod, they turn out to be stronger and better and more disciplined. Sure they do. Sure they do. I would never whip my child the way my mother whipped me. I would never do my child the way she did me. I will never abuse a child like she did me. But I needed that. I was a hard-headed boy. But I love my mother. I did. I didn't talk back to her, that's for sure. I didn't talk back to her like the rest of them. That's why they're in the shape that they're in. Broken, they're miserable. I'll find me somewhere and go cry. I was a mama's boy. I can say it, but don't you concur with that? I was a mama's boy. She took advantage of me. She used me. She would take my monies. She did. That's the way my heart was toward my mother. I would do anything for her. I did. And she knew it. Called me a sucker. I can take that sucker's money. She said that to her. And I got quite a substantial sum of money after I got out of the military. She said, do what you want to. This is what she said. Do what you want to. It's your money. I will not tell anyone I got that money. You get your own place. So that's what I did. My mother called me everything lower than a dog. She called me the son and the mother. She laid it out on me. This no good. She put it down on me. Mama's boy. I'm still a mama's boy. Hear this. 1 Corinthians 1:7. So that you come behind in no matam. See, we come behind in no gifts. I read that in Shaul in the beginning. We can have all the gifts we want without the love of Yah. They mean nothing. And no gift. Waiting for the coming of our Master Yahshua ha-MessiYah. What are we waiting for? I'm waiting for that day. When the day star rises in my heart. And when the dawn, when we see the lights of the heavens. I'll see it one way, whether I come up out of the grave or whether I'm here and alive and remain. That's why I tell us, you all got to listen to me. The way we are, we're going to die that way. I want to give us a great synopsis here. It's in the book of Jubilees. I want to read quickly because I have a few verses I want to close with, all right? This I want to read. I want you all that are listening, write this down, Jubilees chapter 1. Now just listen to me. Take your eyes out of the book. Just write this down, Jubilees chapter 1, and read the whole chapter. Because we have not the testimony, this is what shall befall us. I will read quickly. And Yah called to Moshe, Jubilees 1:3, he called him on the seventh day out of the midst of the cloud. And the appearance of the Spirit of Almighty Yahweh was like a flaming fire on the top of the mountain. And Moshe was on the mountain of the mount 40 days and 40 nights. And Yahweh, listen to this, it says, and Yahweh taught him the earlier and the latter history of division of all the days of the Torah and the testimony. That's what he taught him. So if any man speaks not according to the Torah and the testimony, he has no love of Yahshua ha-MessiYah. That's what Yah taught on to Moshe. And he said, incline your love, not to some word, he said, but every word which I shall speak to you on this place, and write them in a sefer, in a book, in order that their generations may see how I have not forsaken them for all their evil, which they have done, wrought in transgression. They have transgressed the breadth of the covenant, my allegiance with them, which I established between you now, me and you, for their generations in the Mount of Sinai. He established the covenant power in Yahshua in the testimony. That's why they had the Ark of the Covenant to remind them of the covenant with Yah that will bring them back to the prophecy, and then the men will speak prophecy, and it will come out of them. They will teach it as though it was prophecy. They didn't need to know about the Club of Rome or what the Romans were going to do. All they need was the ruach of prophecy, and that is the testimony of Yahshua ha-MessiYah. He goes on to say in verse 6, and thus it will come to pass when all these things come upon them, when sin and when your reward of sin shall come, they will recognize that I am more righteous than they. We think we're more righteous. That's what he said. He says, I'm more righteous than you. And we're thinking all of our filthy ways, we're more righteous than Yah. Or we think we're more righteous than someone else. I will, man, that those that say, I'll just keep myself quiet. I won't say that she or he thinks he's more righteous than someone else. You're a damn dog. You're a liar, woman. That is not the truth. Yah says, I'm going to show them. They think they're more. See, we don't think we think like that. Yah said it. He said, I'm going to show them that I am more righteous than they in all of their judgments, in all of their actions, and they will recognize that I've been truly with them. I'm going to show you, the father shows the daughter he's more righteous than her. The mother shows the son she's more righteous. Her ways represent her actions against them, so they can't see what she's done or he done wrong and condemn them. You can't say one thing and walk one way and do one thing and tell them you're right. You can't say that you love your husband, you talk down them like a dog. You can't say you love your wife and you abuse her. You don't give a damn with everything your boys come before her. You're a flat-out liar. You're not righteous. You're a damn hypocrite. You're a phony liar. Man loves his wife as he loves himself, like YAHSHUA loved the assembly. You're a flat-out liar if you say you love him. As I have to love her. I don't give a damn how you think about me. It's still the truth. He didn't command you to love a husband. He commanded you to honor a man. And then he commands the man to love your wife. As YAHSHUA ha-MessiYah loved the assembly, he gave himself for it. You're flat out damn liar. You haven't got to say damn. You're damned. You're more righteous than Yah. You can't reason with Yah. You reason out of this prophecy. He goes on to say, and do you write for yourself all these words which I declare unto you this day. For I know the rebelliousness. We are a rebellious people. I know the rebelliousness, and we are mirama. We're full of treachery and stiff-necked. He said, and they are stiff-necked. He said, before I bring them into the land of which I swore unto the avats of Abraham, to Yitzchak and Jacob, saying, unto your zerah, your seed, will I give land flowing with milk and honey. And they shall eat and be satisfied, and they shall turn to the damn gods, not strange gods. They shall turn to the damnable wicked gods, the gods of their bellies, the gods of the... He said they're going to turn to gods which cannot deliver them. Your belly can't deliver you out of nothing. The God of your emotionalism doesn't deliver you out of anything. The God of your lies doesn't deliver you. And they're going to turn to gods which not can deliver them. Look, not from an altar. Yah says that you have an altar against your brother or your sister. You go before them. You lay your gift down, you go before them and get it right. He said that's your God, because your God always have an altar against my nation, my people. Is that all right then? He says, and this witness shall be heard for witness, not for them, but against them. What you do, Yisrael, it's going to witness against you. What YAHSHUA did is a witness for us, his testimony, the Ruach of prophecy. He says this. Does Yah says to love Yah with all your strength, your mind, all your living? Does he say that? Listen to me. Did he tell you to love your neighbor how? As yourself? That's what he says. For they will forget all my mitzvah. They will forget all my commandments. We have forgotten them. If you don't love me, then you will covet. You will do me wrong. If I don't love you, I'll do your wife wrong. I will lust and covet your wife. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. He said not they have forgotten some. He said they've forgotten all my commandments, even all that I commanded them. And they walk after the Gentiles and after the uncleanliness and after their own shame. They're not even ashamed of their ways. You know, in the days that when one did wrong, they would get ashamed and say, I'm wrong. I'm sorry, brother. Sister, I'm wrong for treating you like that. We're not even ashamed. We have no shame of our actions and our ways, no whatsoever. And they will serve the gods. And these will prove unto them an offense and tribulation and an affliction and a snare. That's what they're going to prove to you. They're going to be a snare. They're an offense unto Yah, and they're going to bring great trials on your heart because you're going to worry about them and wonder what is that. Now the Ruach of YAHSHUA, the testimony of prophecy, doesn't cause us to worry because we know that he has solidified his truth in YAHSHUA to give us assurance that we are his. We have the testimony and the Torah in our hearts, and that's the truth. You understand? And many, he said, they're going to die, they're going to perish, and they will be taken captive, and they will fall into the hands of the enemy. Why? Because they have forsaken my pikud, my ordinance, and my mitzvah, my commandments. And this is what he says. He says, and the festivals, the feast days. He says, and the festival of my covenant. He said, these are my feast days. They don't want to celebrate it. They defy it. He said, these are my, and you got groups like that group then in Chicago. I'm gonna rock them one day. I just don't have the energy right now, but I'll deal with them. I wrote a rebuttal to his lie. The man won't even contact me. He has never contacted me. I said, that's a lie. I got a 60, 70-page book back there I wrote to show him the falseness of his lies. They have their feast days. The women dress like dirty hoes. They're turking their backside, and they dressing like $2 sluts. He said, but they have forgotten the covenant of my feast days. I don't care what no one tells you. Tell you don't keep the feast days, they're damn liars. They're liars. He says, they have in the festivals of my feast days and my Shabbats, my Shabbatot, and my Kodesh plays, which I have set apart for myself in their midst. He has set you apart in the midst of the house, that others may see the power of his honor, and they may honor him for what he has done just in you. I don't like what I see in the people today. I don't like it. I want to say to all your daughters, I love you. You can be some of the most silliest people on the face of the earth. You can be immature. You can be nutty. You can be callous. One thing about me, we as men, men, unless he's a little bona fide boy. I don't care if they fuss at me or something like that. Let's get it. Let's go, baby. I was in the field with Yo one day, and man, he just, I showed him how wicked he was. I said, all right, give me some hug, baby, let's go. We got to get this done. It's hot out here. Bugs everywhere. That's how we do it. Come on, Shimmery, man. Come on, baby. That's how I talk. Come on, brother. Hold up now. Get it together. After all that, preach a little bit. All right, I'm gone. Give them time to resolve things and talk about things, and I'm away from them. That's why I don't interfere with fellowship with the Achim. I like to be away from that. I want them. That's how we do it. You women are silly. I love your daughters. He said, man, deal with your wife according to knowledge, knowing that she is the weaker vessel. I don't care what I don't care. Well, I'm strong. You're not strong, woman. You're not strong as the man. I'll tell you what, go in that gym over there. I'll tell you what, go over there and see how much he can pick up and see how much you can pick up. See, in order for you to have a strong here, you can't do that unless you got some strong here. That's, I can't do that. No. Huh? It is the truth. I worked all day. I said, baby, well, I'll tell you what, I'll change places. That's cooking is hard, though. I'm not going to take away from that. That's a hard job. My foot's the other day, everything. I said, baby, I'm hurting. You should be on your foots all day. I said, I know that's right, baby girl. I've been on my foots all day. I can appreciate it. All the cooking I've done here, I can appreciate, your daughters. So get off your little silly horse, all right? Grow up and act mature. Hallelujah. I love your daughters. That's why I tell you that. You may not love me, but that's all right. Hallelujah. He said, I've set them apart from myself. Then in verse 11, and they will make to themselves high places. That's what we have done for Ashereth. We have made these high places, groves and graven image, to worship even the graven images. And it's going to cause us to go astray. And we even offer. Look, this is what we've done. This is what it says in Jubilee 1:11. Yah says that they have even sacrificed their children to demons. Daddies open their sons up to every kind of demonic spirit, mamas, allowing every kind of unclean thing to persist. And they open up their children to demons. For what? And to all the works of error of their hearts. They allow them to do what's in their own wicked hearts. That's why you do what you do in your heart, man. Woman, that's why what you do is not of Yah. It's not the heart of YAHSHUA, ha-MessiYah. For no greater love than this, that a brother, if you're my friend, makes no difference, I'm your friend. and I should love you. There's no greater love than a man that will lay down his life for a friend. So Yisrael is my friend. So a friend lays down his life for a friend. A friend lays down his life to love your neighbor, your Raah, as you love yourself. That's what a friend is. The same word, Raah. You love them as you love yourself. And there's no greater love than this. That if I'm your friend, I'm your friend. I'll lay down my life for you. I'm willing to die for you. I'm willing to suffer the wrong for you. I'm willing to press over those obstacles in my mind, in my own heart, that my mind has been given unto demonic practice, that I make sure that I walk right with you. This wicked, stupid generation. Now, if I'm talking to you, I'm talking to you. That's what you are. And I'm not taking anything back. Hallelujah. Yah says, this is what he says, I will send witnesses unto them. For what? I'm here today, not to witness for you, but that they may witness against them. He said, I will send messengers. I will send a testimony to testify against them. He's a hard-headed man. That's what he said. He said, I will send witnesses, the testimony of prophecy, to testify against them. He said, but they will not hear. See, you won't change your ways. You won't shoot. He said, but they will not hear. Is he talking to me? Yeah, he's talking to you. He said, they won't hear me. You know it's right to do right, do right. You don't do it, it's a sin. It's wrong. He said, but they won't hear. He said, they're going to kill the witness. They're going to speak against him. They will slay the witnesses also. And they will persecute those who seek the Torah. When someone talks right and trying to do right, they persecute them. They reject them. But you don't reject the little faggot of a son, will you? Little effeminate daughter that's a dirty slut. That's what Yah says. These are not my words. He said, but they will, those that seek truth and want to do right, try to do right by them, they don't want them. And they will abrogate, and change everything so as to work evil before my eyes. You do everything to work evil. Well, he's wrong. I don't see what, he said that, and he was talking to me. You're right, I'm talking to you. You're right, I'm talking to you, you fool. You're right. You're trying to show you your error. You're wrong. And when you're that cold and nasty, you can repent. Let me show you. You have no testimony. You have no truth of YAHSHUA. Can I show you something, son? All right. It says this in Devarim. I want to show you what we all must have, this testimony. We must speak. And if I don't speak this way today, I'm a liar. Devarim 18:22. He said, when the prophet, the Nabi, when the messenger, Deuteronomy 18:22. He said, when a prophet Daba make promise, so he called things to pass. I'm speaking of the prophecy of Yah. He said, when a prophet speaks in the name of Yahweh, if the thing ha-YAH follow not, nor bow enter in or come to pass, he said, that is the thing which Yah has not spoken. If I speak as a messenger today, and what I'm saying you can't identify it in Torah, this is a lie that I'm talking, all right? If I speak that way. But the Nabi, the messenger, has spoke it. He has done that zadon. He has done that presumptuously. He's arrogant. He's full of pride. He has done it presumptuously. He said, you don't even be afraid of him. Don't even worry about what he says. If he's walking unrighteously, he speaks a thing, you know that. I watch the young men today, and I watch men, they gather in their conclave. It's nothing but filled with laughter and folly and that kind of bullshit. And I don't buy that. I know that's wicked. The women full of laughter and clowning and joking. That's not of Yah. I'm going to preach one day on sporting. I will show you what the Torah says. Women get together, they're full of lies and laughter. That's wrong, daughters. Don't do that. I don't care. You don't have to do that. Sing. You start singing, when I think of the love of Yah and all he has done for me, Oh, my never shout hallelujah. You're congregated when you're walking in there. Oh, sing on the tongue. You may feel a little weary in your body, and all of a sudden you get up a little bit. Sing of the great blessings He's poured on my sons. Ah, yes, yeah. Then you begin to appreciate. But you talk about bull shysting. That's what you look like, a pile and a plop of bull. That's a fact. So that man has spoke presumptuously. He is not afraid. Don't be afraid of him. He has not spoken the power of the testimony. But this is the true measure of one that speaks of the Torah and the testimony. 3rd Ezra. Ezra, hear this quickly. Ezra chapter 15. I want to move quickly. Verse 1. Ezra, 3rd Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. He says, behold, I want you to speak in the ear, or the ears of my people. He says the words of prophecy. In Ezra, 3rd Ezra 15:1. I'm speaking to you the words of prophecy. I speak by the testimony of the Ruach of YAHSHUA, ha-MessiYah. I speak by that. And if I don't speak by that, I am a liar. He says, which I put on your fund, I put in your theft. I'm the one that put that in your mouth, says Yah. He is the one that put this in me this morning. He is the one that awakened me. No, I don't sleep till 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. I get up. I don't sleep that late in the midst of the day. It's amazing that people say, I get up at 7. You're a liar. You can tell when someone right. I get up early. Dress it right and cover down. I said, the shipman of the morning said, you got here quite early, didn't you? Yeah, to get down the road. I'm up. Our hands and our minds should not be given to sleep and slumber. You go by man's house that's been given unto that, then he's raggedy. His house is not repaired. His garden doesn't look worth a damn. His spirit is not worth a damn. I want to close in a moment. Give me a few moments. Hallelujah. He says, I want you to, he says in verse 2 of 3rd Ezra 15:2, and cause them to be written in a paper, for they are faithful and true. The prophecy of the testimony is faithful and true, Yisrael. Fear not the imaginations against you. Let not this incredulousness in their hearts, this wickedness, this refuse to believe, of them trouble you, that speak against you. For all, listen now what he says, for all that are unfaithful. Now ask yourself, am I faithful? Are you faithful to Yah? He said, for all, not some that are unfaithful, shall die in their unfaithfulness. You're unfaithful today. You're going to die that way. That's why he sends warnings. That's why he sends the prophecy, the witness of the rock of issue. We think, well, I get it right this evening. No. He said, all that are unfaithful, is it not written in the book? Is not the book written of him? It's written in the book, isn't it? It's written in the book, isn't it? He told him to write it in paper, for they are faithful and true. So the testimony of YAHSHUA is faithful and true, isn't it? So he says, and all those that are unfaithful, they're going to die unfaithful. You that are availed, you're going to die that way. Don't think you're, the way you sit, the way you entreated Yisrael yesterday, the way you did the daughters, the way you did the son, that's the way you're going to die. That's in you. That's in you. When a man abuses his wife, that's in him. He can't say, when a wife talks to a man in the kind of way, that's in her. That's the way she's going to die. That's the way you're going to die. You can eat from the table of your wicked, dirty God, but you're going to die that way. You're going to die that way. You're going to die. He said, but all that are unfaithful, this is what Yah said. These are not my words. He said, you're going to die unfaithful. As you hear and you hear, and you heart. Did he do that in the wilderness with them? He said, when you hear the truth, harden not your hearts, as in the days that provoke me of provocation. Repent, shub, turn around. He said, you're so unfaithful, but I will give you that. The wicked shall do wickedly, and they don't even understand. You don't even understand how wicked we are. And they shall not understand, but the Sadiq of Yah. They understand both time and judgment. They understand why Yah's judging them. They understand that he is reproving them. They understand the prophecy of YAHSHUA, that spirit, to show that I'm more righteous than you. And damn it, you're not going to correct me and tell me where I'm wrong. You don't have to keep the Shabbat. They're dirty, filthy dogs of liars. It's amazing there was a bastard that fellowship with us. There were quite a few folks that went fellowship with me. You don't have to keep the Shabbat because his job commanded him to do that. And he didn't give a damn about them. Where is he to be found? You think these folks care for you? You're liars. You're fools, man. It's amazing because all of them, knew me before they ever knew you. And they didn't come because you were here. No, they did not. Your daddy didn't come because Zakim Birmin was here. Zakim Yarami. Came because they said, that man, you need to hear him. And if he can't care for me, you think he's going to care for him? No. We're so gullible and we think they do. She's sweet. She's not sweet. He's not nice. He said, for all, I want y'all to remember this in 3 Ezra 15:4. Read these scriptures what I give. And, I can't even teach all of this because there's so much to teach. And some other day, I'll teach some more of this. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. Now, that's a profound statement, isn't it? He said, I'm going to kill you that way. Learn how to be faithful and to care. They're going to die in their unfaithfulness. He said, behold, this is what I say, Yah. I will bring plagues upon the whole world, and the sword and famine. Are these not the end time? Are we not in the Acharith of the end times, the times of the end? He said, I'm going to bring the sword, the word. I'm going to bring the sword upon the entire world. He said, I'm going to bring Muth, Maveth. I'm going to bring death in a way that is going to be profound. It's going to pronounce itself. I'm going to bring death and also Harak. I'm going to bring destruction upon the earth. For the wicked has exceedingly polluted the whole earth. Their hurtful works are fulfilled. We that are wicked, we have polluted everything. Everything we touch. Sisters touch sisters and pollute them. Brothers touch brothers. Mamas touch sons and those they pollute them. They make them evil just like them, and they all are evil. They don't love Yah. That's a fact. Fathers touch sons and make them evil. They don't care about Yah. I know that the devil doesn't like me. I want to show us the only thing that's going to sustain us. There's nothing that's going to sustain you but true prophecy. And prophecy is the Ruach of YAHSHUA. Look at this now. I'll read it first. I want you all to listen. Put down your book. Stop reading for me, please. Just listen to me. I want you to hear this. I want everyone to hear this. You scholars of Scripture, tell me where I'm reading from. Everybody should know. I don't want you to tell me. It says this. He said, I saw this formidable, powerful force. He calls himself the dragon, Hashatan. He was angry with the birth of this woman that had not been defiled. He was angry with the woman. Now listen now, he was just angry with the woman. He didn't make war with the woman. It says he went to make Milchaya war with the remnant of a Zirah, of her seed. Who is that remnant? They're only those that keep the mitzvah. They guard the mitzvah of Yah. They keep the Shabbat. They keep the days. They keep the feast. He said they keep the mitzvah of Yah, and they have the testimony. They have the true spirit of prophecy. They have the true spirit of prophecy. He is only against those that keep the mitzvah and those that prophesy about the witness of YAHSHUA ha-MessiYah. I'll read it again. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and he went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keeps the commandments, the mitzvah, the mitzvot of Yah, and have the testimony, the edah, the eduth. They have the witness of YAHSHUA ha-MessiYah. He doesn't give a damn about those that doesn't have that. We must speak according to the Torah and the testimony. And if I don't speak that way, I'm a liar. That's who he wants to make war with. That's who he's making war with. He doesn't care about these hypocrites and they're pretending. He loves that because he knows that they are soldiers of his army. He knows that they will kill the prophet. He knows, just like what I read in Maccabean, that they will come against the messenger. They will despise them. And they will despise everything that the messenger represents. He knows that. He doesn't care. But those, he didn't care about the woman. He said, leave her alone. I want that because that seed produces other seed. And that seed populates. And that seed overpowers. Kill them all, he said. That's who the war is against. Those that got the testimony. of YAHSHUA, ha-MessiYah. They love, they keep the Torah of Yah, they keep the commands of Yah, they keep the Shabbat, they keep the Moedim of Yah. Those are the ones he is against. That's why the spirit in your damn devilish mom and your devilish daddy, well, you don't have to do all that with baby. I've been there with a baby. They're cult down there. They're cult people. They're such jackasses, they don't even know what the word occult means. I spent days and hours and just simple words defining them. I search as far as I can. How many of you do that? I'm not trying to show you what I know. I'm just showing you the same way I work when I cut wood to make sure you stay warm. That's the same way I work to make sure the fire's kindled in your heart. Make sure I give you the right kindling. That's what he's after. The spirit of prophecy. We understand. That's what YAHSHUA means. What Yoel said when he was poured out his rock upon all flesh. That's what the words hazon and hizayon, to foretell, to show us, to speak by the Ruach of Yah. That's what they all mean. These men want to say that mean a woman called the priest. That's a lie. It's all right you talk to each other and strengthen each other, but I would never let a woman stand up here, not even her. She's never done that. She knows better. And the first time I heard that, I knew it was wrong. And I didn't have the access to things I have today. When the man said it, I went, I got my old strong concordance, and I searched for hours and hours. And I searched for days, and all of it together. I said, oh, my. I could have been preaching all over if I had just accepted women as preaching. Because they like me. There's one down there in here in the state. She got 500-600 people. She was, when last time I said, look what my baby's bought me. A brand new van for our anniversary. I just looked at her. She had 3 or 2 other Jezebels with her. And lust for dogs. You can't play me like that. She would say he's an apostle. I went to her house one time. I said, I'll never go back to this witchcraft hole, hell hole again. Never did. Never did see the woman again. Because you're not going to play me like that. Yah had his hands on me. Even before I was up in my mother's womb, he said, this is mine. You're going to be hated someday. Don't worry about it. Don't cry. Nothing make me cry like that. I'm not going to cry because you don't like me. You don't even care for you. You don't love me. How can you love me? That's just a lie. If you don't love you, how can you love me? You show more love for the wicked neighbor you love than they go, oh, hi, hey there, hey girl, how are you? You can't speak to an email like that? Bless you, bless you. And you go out to the damn wicked one and say, hi, how are you today? What's up, man? And you see me, you walk past me, you're a sick dog. I don't take it back. That's twisted there. Something isn't right here. And I close with these 2 verses. There are a few verses. We got to get out of here. We got to eat because we're going to come back at 7, all right? Full of singing, and Zakin is going to teach for about an hour. And so we break the last bit of bread, all right? Let me read this. I haven't had time to look at this morning. I just kind of rushed through scripture. I got a little worried about you all because I said, I know what time they roll in here. I said, now I give them 2 more minutes. I said, I give them Shimri. Yes, sir. I know what time he comes. And he's always on time. Not sometimes, he's always on time. You understand? So I'm like, whoa, no. I said, I don't want. Ooh, yeah. Whew. I want to close with these 2, all right? This is to assure us of true prophecy, all right? Let him pour out his rock upon you, daughters and sons, that you will prophesy, you will testify. Not like we did, but it's of strength. Your character is erect. And when you say, I know that I know him. It is the wisdom of your countenance that speak. And men will revere you and love you. That's the beauty that a man loves. If it was the beauty of your shape and all of that, then why are the women with shapes? They're all lonely. I'll say that again. If it was all about shapes and your pretty slick back hair, baby, why are you so lonely? Why is there no man in your life? Why you don't have a husband? And women, don't you destroy your husband trying to wheel your will upon him, trying to tell him what to do. Let him be a man. If he fall, your beauty strengthens him because he know he has a precious gift from Yah. When a man finds a wife, he finds a tough thing. Don't break his will. Don't break his heart. Don't do him like that. I don't care how weak he is. Don't do him like that. In all of my weakness I didn't have nobody. This woman strengthened me. When I was low, had no esteem, she will let me know there's nothing you can't do. You believe that? I don't care what it is. You can't do him. That's how she talked to me. She never said, you ain't worth a damn. You ain't going to be nothing. No. I heard that from my mother. It was nothing. When she would cry. And we would cry. I remember one time, let me say this quickly. We hadn't been married that long, and so I don't know what the deal was. It was nothing because I didn't abuse my wife verbally or with my hands. So I went to my brother. Now he and his wife, it's a sad shame. So she was crying and I'm crying. He looks at us, he said, oh, baby boy, I know what the remedy for that is. Sure did. He gave us the right remedy. And it worked. It worked. I close with this. This is what I was seeing through Yisrael. I read this. You see the word Edah or the witness, it is the testimony. He said, if we receive the witness of men, the testimony of Yah is much greater. The testimony of YAHSHUA is much greater. For the witness of Yahweh, which he has testified, that's the testimony where? In his son, Yeshua ha-MessiYah. He that believes on the Son of Yah has the testimony. Those are the only ones that have the witness of Yah. Where? In himself. You got it in your heart, and men see it. Men see it. He that believes not on Yah has made him a liar. Well, I don't believe on the testimony of YAHSHUA. You made Almighty Yahweh a liar because he believed not the record, the testimony that Yah has given of his Son. He is the Spirit. He is the true of prophecy, of the fulfillment of this book. You don't have to worry about the New World Order. Don't worry about that. You don't have to worry about the Club of Rome. This is your life in this. This is the true life of prophecy. He said, and this is the record, the testimony, that Yah has given us eternal life in the life of the testimony of YAHSHUA ha-MessiYah. That is the testimony. We have life. We're still his. That is the true spirit of prophecy. I have prophesied to you today by the book or the writing of the book. And I conclude with this for your great reward. For your great reward. It says this. I'll tell you this is in Yokohara, Revelation. Chapter 6, verse 9. And when the Melech had opened the fifth seal of the revelation of what shall be, he said, I saw under the altar the nephesh, the beings of them that were slain for the word of Yah and for the testimony which they held. We must hold fast the testimony of prophecy. We must keep the testimony of YAHSHUA because that gives us the knowledge and it reveals unto us the ruach of prophecy. If you die for nothing else, let's die for the testimony. Got him in my mind. Got him in my life. Got YAHSHUA in me. He is my testimony. He is the record of Yah, and that is the true record Yisrael. Keep your mind and your heart on him, and you will know you're walking in him. When we love one another, when we care for each other, when we watch for each other, when we cry with each other, when we kiss each other, when we embrace each other, you will know. Of all things, Yisrael, I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be a Baal. I want to be real in life. I'm getting too old now to be a hypocrite. For my days are coming short, and it won't be long, mama. As we're going on home, going on up there in the sky. I'm waiting for YAHSHUA, for he is my testimony. I was just waiting for him to come on. Got my hand in his hands. I said, don't want to die unfaithful. If I is faithful now, I said, going to die that way. That's the truth. If you're unfaithful in the small things, how will he trust you with measures of great things? One thing that Yah has proven in my heart, I have never been an unfaithful man. We greet you all. We're going to close. Let us stand to our feet. Bless you. I guess it didn't work out right because I didn't let the children sample my food. I should have let you sample, shouldn't I? In all things we do, Baruch you, Yah, in Yeshua's name. Bless your people. Give us strength. Return us back this evening for some singing and some teaching in Yeshua's name. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Ya Baruch Yisrael.